ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
5.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Game day and a big one. Get a nap. I mean, get home early if you can. Get in a little nappy nap. I don't know, maybe like 5:30 to 6:30 or something. A little, just a little quick snoozy before breakfast or before dinner. Get up, have a little dinner, do your thing. 9 o'clock start, which will probably be 9:15, JJ. By the time TV pushes that thing back tomorrow morning, you'll be all snuggled in your warm lair. What's the weather in Laradice, by the way?
I don't know. Check before I head out.
It'll be beautiful, I'm certain. Lobos and Aztecs tonight, 9 o'clock. Big one in the Mountain West. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to our little program that we call the Opening Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. I'm Jeff Symbieta along with JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You all right?
All right.
Big one tonight, and it was an all-business press conference with Richard Pitino. Oh, it's going to be 16 degrees tonight, JJ, and a high of 35 tomorrow. You're living. And then on Thursday,
balmy,
50 degrees in Laramie. Wow, it's only going down to 16 degrees. You're good. You got lucky on your Laramie trip. JJ will be up in Laramie with the ladies. They play on Wednesday, right here on the Sports Animal. I thought it was an interesting press conference yesterday. Very businesslike. Richard Pitino wasn't biting on any of the questions about, his dad and St. John's and any of the fun stuff. It's going to be March on Saturday. It's business time. It was almost, I don't want to say different because it was the same, but different in a respect. Did you feel that yesterday?
No. And that's what stands out to me.
Okay.
I appreciate the tone. Everyone asked about Viejas, and it's loud, and it's going to be crazy. Yeah. And I appreciate the way Richard Pitino handles it. You have to have that approach where it's a tough opponent, but you can't care that it's going to be loud. You can't care that you're playing at San Diego State. You have to go in with a level of confidence that your game plan is going to work, and I appreciate that. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, my gosh, we're playing at Viejas. No. It's another game for us against a really good opponent, and if we are not confident, it's not going to go our way.
In that respect, he's always consistent. I agree with you that regard. He's always consistent in regards to what he says in regards to the basketball. I thought it was very, very concise yesterday, very businesslike. Wasn't going to get into, there was a question asked about, what do you think of St. John's win? Glad they won. We were practicing, man. I didn't watch the game, like that kind of stuff. I agree with you, and that's something I've said over the years that I really appreciate about Richard. Is I love the way his demeanor is with the media, with people, the way he handles things. He's not too high, not too low. I would expect nothing less. I mean, what would you expect any coach to say? Yeah, we're going. It's another place, and he was asked about the crowd, and he says, I don't care who's in the stands. It doesn't matter to me who's in the stands. It matters to me, who's on the other side of the floor and how our team plays, and we're playing a really good basketball team, and he gave him a lot of praise.
Yeah, and they know who they're playing.
That's
They
right.
know the magnitude of the game, the preparation, the film study, and it's something that he said to me too before the Utah State game. He's like, "Hey man, you go in there, it's words," and it was almost along the lines of they're not, it's not sticks and stones, it's just words. So like they're throwing stuff at you.
That's right.
It's how do you handle it on the court.
Yep. All right, let me give you phone numbers to get in today. 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Kenny Thomas will be here at 9. We'll kick it with Kenny. Senator Mo Maestas, state senators, got a couple of sports-related bills that are going through the legislature. One regarding the NMAA, high school stuff, and it's an interesting read if you go through that bill. And another one regarding the New Mexico State Athletic Commission. So we'll talk to Senator Maestas about what he's trying to get done sports-related up in Santa Fe. That'll be at 8 o'clock this morning. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck, and on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, and you can watch the show there. Adrian's producing. It's also on Comcast Channel 26. All right, things to watch tonight, JJ, and I think there's no way Magoon Guath plays, right? Hyperextended knee. I mean, everything we're hearing is he might be back for the conference tournament. That's their 7-footer, their all-conference, or he might be third-team all-conference. A guy who's going to be, I see no other way anybody else, the freshman of the year in this league. He's probably out. He hyperextended his knee in the loss at Utah State on Saturday. For New Mexico, and we'll listen to a little bit later what Richard Pitino had to say. Mustafa Amsil is a true game time decision. He said not like the fake game time decision I gave you the other day, but this will be a true game time decision. It's a big miss if you can get him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you who misses who more. I think they're both pretty important to their team. When we talked to Richard, and I asked him specifically about what specifically does Mustafa Amsil, what do you lose? And one of the biggest things he talked about was exactly what I was saying yesterday, right? A fifth-year senior, right? You got a guy who's been there 5 years, who was a starter on a championship team, and you're starting a freshman who's, a really good freshman. But he's a freshman, and you're going into a tough spot. So I thought it was interesting when he talked about, what it is you missed there.
Yes, it's a really good player, and he's grown all you want about to miss threes. What he brings defensively and rebounding wise is really important to this team.
In the game back on, what was it, January 11th, when New Mexico beat the Aztecs in the pit, 62-48. I looked at Magoon Guath, and the plus-minus stat, and Steve Kirtland showed me this, the sports information director over there at UNM. If you look at the stat sheet of that game, there's only one Aztec that had a positive plus-minus. That means how many points were scored for you and against you, your team, when you were in the game. And he was at a +1. He was the only one. And he it's not like his stats will jump off the table to you, although he had 4 blocks. But when you look then at what Nelly Jr. Joseph did in that game, Nelly was 3 for 10. He bothers you. He bothers you around the rim. He's long. And in that game, Nelly only had 6 points to go with his 9 rebounds. I think they miss him tremendously in this game. I really do.
It's probably, for them, a bigger loss than Amzo, because I
think that's
you have Nelly Jr. Joseph, you have Donovan Dent. Now San Diego State has to adjust their defense a little bit more, not having Guath inside. Offensively, they're still going to play a lot through their guards and their backcourt. But it's late in the season, and you have to take advantage of it. Players are out. How to respond? The Lobos have played games without impactful players in their lineup. They found a way to win, and San Diego State's looking at it the same way.
Yeah. In that game, the leading scorer for New Mexico was Donovan Dent. He had 16 points and 5 assists. The leading point getter for San Diego State, and they only scored, 48 points in that game. It was Miles Bird. They shot Miles Bird 17 for 48. Did San Diego State shoot? The Aztecs the Lobos held in 35.4% shooting. Neither team shot the ball incredibly well. Lobos only scored 62 points and won the game going away. So it's something to watch for tonight. I know it's a big one. I know you got thoughts on it. We'll talk about it a lot. 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Want to hear from you today. We'll talk about some NFL stuff as well. We'll talk about where the Cowboys are, because they're going to be selectively aggressive, JJ.
The new motto this season.
Put it on the board, because that could be your new fantasy football team name. Selectively aggressive, if that's what you want. So we'll go there. We got NBA to talk about from last night. There's another job open in college basketball. This one's in the Big 12. Throw the names at it you want, but a former Mountain West coach got fired from that job yesterday. Hey, we're going to be at the Mountain West Conference, and looking forward to being there. JJ will be up there with the women, and then I'll come in on Tuesday. We'll have the shows there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be there all week, probably, because you'll be there Monday and Tuesday, right? Well, hopefully. I mean, assuming, the ladies last. But we're going to be there and bringing everything to you from the Mountain West Conference as the Lobos try to cut down the nets again. And looking forward to being there and bringing you what we can from courtside, from Vegas and everything that goes with this. I want to say thank you to the people who are making sure that we go there again, and it's been a number of years in a row that we've been able to get there for you. John Thomas Jewelers, see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 straight years. Frank's Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. ECO Electric, your P&M authorized car charger installer. Korish Law Injury Lawyer, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. Airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunport. Blake's Lotaburger, a New Mexico tradition for 52 years. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. And Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for 50 years. Thank you for making sure that we are there again. When we come back, big night in the NBA last night. Nikola Jokic had another big night. Take your calls all day on Global Basketball as well, leading up to Kenny Thomas being here at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Florida State, Indiana, Miami, Virginia. Virginia's an interesting one, dude. It's, I mean, that's such a good job. If you can handle the pressure going in there after Tony Bennett, right? That's a program. And you look at all these schools. I mean, Virginia won a national title recently. Miami was in the Final Four 2 years ago. Indiana still thinks they're Indiana, right? So you can never be good enough at Indiana. And Florida State has been really, really good for, I don't know, 2 decades, right? I mean, they're quietly really good. Those are good jobs, man.
Yeah, potential there if you back it up. Who knows? We got to get the final word over the summer of what the initial revenue is going to be. But you back that up with potential revenue sharing from the university with the house settlement and whatever NIL you're working with, and could have some potential big money places.
Yeah. What do you watch tonight, dude? So do you split screen? Because, Luka and the Lakers host in Dallas. It's an 8 o'clock start, so you get an hour jump start on the Lobo game. But, that's kind of, is it must watch? It's kind of want to watch that. Don't you think?
It's a little less with no Anthony Davis and the game being in LA.
Yeah, but.
So, tuning in, I would be much more interested if it was in Dallas.
Yeah, and that'll happen. Ronnie said, Jeff and JJ, what's your over-under for Luka Doncic? And he had the right, little stuff. What's the right word I'm looking for? Punctuation? That's not really up. The little marks over the, over the C. I don't even know how you do that on your phone. But that's cool. He said, what's your over-under for Luka Doncic's points total against the Mavericks this evening? I'm saying over 50. It's from Ronnie. I'm going to go 30. If I put the over-under 33.5. That fair?
That is fair.
Make you think? You going over or under?
So we had 32 the other night.
Yep. Here comes your old team.
I think you get 34 points.
Yeah, all right. I kind of like the over, too. Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere right about 34. Yeah. Ronnie, I'm going to go under the 50, but, man, if you win, you win, because I think it's going to be something tonight. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in, you're welcome to. Area code 505-246-0610. All right, tell me what this is supposed to mean. We're going to be selectively aggressive, JJ. The Cowboys are going to be selectively aggressive. That's Stephen Jones. Who do you like listening to more, Stephen Jones or Jerry Jones these days?
It's everything. It's if the Dallas Cowboys say it, it's a headline because every team is selectively aggressive in free agency. It's the default setting of free agency. You just don't go around throwing money. You pick where you want to attack in free agency because free agency is one of the most overrated things in the NFL.
Explain.
Teams that usually spend a lot of money don't win. You have to have a foundation for free agency to matter. Yes, you could land potentially a Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. But those players went to really
that's exactly where my mind went.
Those players went to really good teams and did not make a team better just because of free agency.
Boy, but they made a difference.
Yes, but they made a difference on a really good team. If Saquon Barkley signed anywhere else, he's just a good running back.
Free agent quarterbacks matter? And I know we've had this conversation.
Potentially, but we
haven't seen many.
Not many. Now, this year is a fascinating one with the veteran quarterbacks potentially on the market, just in terms of the Aaron Rodgers situation. If Kirk Cousins gets cut, Sam Darnold. So this is going to be, well, it's not a positive, actually, yet in Atlanta. But
what are they going to do?
They haven't made the official decision on when they're going to cut him or if they're going to cut him just yet. But those guys hit the market, then it's a much different year than we've seen in the past, as opposed to just deciding Russell Wilson, where you have a Sam Darnold that's actually very intriguing for a lot of teams.
Quote, we're going to look at everything we can. We're going to be selectively aggressive. There are things in this league you have to consider. You have a certain amount of resources they allow you to have. We'll look at that. We're going to try and improve our football team. Not try. We're going to improve our football team. We expect to have success next year. Stephen Jones. I don't even know where they start. And then there's talk of quarterback, right? They're going to draft a young quarterback somewhere in the draft. Okay. Trey Young's done, right? Like that whole thing is done.
Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. I'm sorry. Trey Young isn't done because he's still making buckets. Yes.
Well, it was never really a thing.
Well, but it was kind of, I always thought they drafted him with a thought that they were getting some diamond steel, that they were going to be able to polish this thing and make this beautiful, shiny object out of it. And I'm going to guess when they got him in camp, they're realizing, oh, I mean, that's what it is. Because there's been opportunity to get him on the field. And
they didn't until the very last game of the season.
Right, when they wanted to save $500,000 not let Cooper Rush hit his bonus. Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't look that good. I don't know what you expect a guy who's been sitting there all season. I mean, my thought is, if I always tell you this, coaches see these guys in practice every day, right? Fans yell and scream. I don't care if it's basketball, whatever the game is, right? Fans yell and scream, why isn't this guy playing more? Why isn't that guy more? Every coach is incentivized to win, right? They're paid their bonus to win. And every coach is going to put out the best players, and they see them in practice every day. And so we sit here and say, oh, this guy's horrible. Did you see what that guy did in his one game? All right. They know better. And they've had a long enough look at Trey Lance that makes me believe, yeah, that's not it. Which is fine, because I think it's what we all thought. Right.
There's guys can pop. Trey Lance has never... hasn't even been, as you said, good enough to get that look, and I don't think Trey Lance was ever going to play over Cooper Rush unless they said, hey, let's play him multiple games just to see what happens. Yeah. But, young quarterbacks, there's going to be some growing pains in there. You got to let them play, but this was a situation where it wasn't just necessarily, hey, this is a guy we drafted high. I know Dallas traded a 4th-round pick for him.
Yep.
As you just said, say, hey, maybe they could spark something, and he was never better than Cooper Rush, and they wanted to be competitive in the second half of the season. And that's why they played Cooper Rush. And to the free agency spending, the teams that spent the most money in free agency last year, the top 3 teams.
Go ahead.
Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins plays into that.
Sure.
And the Tennessee Titans.
None of them made the playoffs. None of them made the playoffs. All right. When we get back, I want to get into this because so much has been made about the tush push, the brotherly shove, and one team, and now feels like we know what team that is, has gone to the league and gone to the competition committee, and they want it banned. They want it taken out. What do you think? Because a lot of people have a lot of opinions on the brotherly shove or the tush push. Should it be regulated out? More regulations or less regulations? Where are you? Or should you just learn how to freaking stop it? We'll get into that. 505-246-0610. Time Management Month is coming to an end. Isn't it crazy that Time Management Month is the shortest time of any month? It's February. I didn't know that. Time management, get your car clean. How does that all work together? Well, let me tell you. You can manage your time and get your vehicle detailed by calling my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. How? They come to you. So you don't have to take any time out of your day. You don't have to go anywhere, pick it up, sit around, because they come to you. And they will detail your big investment. When they're done, it looks and feels and smells like brand new, like the day you took it off the lot. That's inside and outside. I recently had mine done. It's tremendous. People are standing around going, how do I get that? Well, it's easy. You just go to otsdetailing.com. Look, detailing is what the car dealers do. That is that deep new car clean. Also ask them about ceramic coating, paint protection, lifetime warranty. They've got it all. It's all online. You can see it, book it, and buy it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Go to otsdetailing.com. It's otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505
and Big 12.
All right, tush push. 3rd down and 1, 4th down and half a yard. What are you doing? Well, that's the thing now, right? Packers do it better than anybody. The brotherly shove, tush push, whatever you call it. I didn't know that it was hugely controversial. I knew there were people who didn't like it, but it's very successful. Now, it's not banned by the NFL. But the league's executive vice president of football operations, who is Troy Vincent, did say Monday that one team has issued a proposal to ban it for the 2025 season. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, thank you for being with us this morning. Green Bay Packers, J.J., are the team. Evidently, they lost to the Eagles in the NFC wildcard. Evidently, they're the team that issued the proposal to the competition committee, according to The Athletic. The Athletic has outed the Packers. They haven't been shy about their dislike of it. They claim that there's no skill involved. It's almost an automatic first down. Before we dive, what do you think of that play? What do you think of that concept?
I think it's a team that realized that their strength in the offensive line and the way their quarterback is built allow them to find a loophole in the way you can do quarterback sneaks.
Okay. Everybody else has tried it to varying levels of success, correct?
Yes.
Buffalo is usually pretty good at it. Didn't get it, although I think the world thinks they did when it really mattered. It used to be outlawed. Like, it wasn't okay. Remember the Bush push coming up on 19, 20 years ago? Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart at Notre Dame. And people lost their mind because that way you're not supposed to be able to push a guy in. And then they said, all right, yeah, it's fine. You can do that. Now it's turned into offensive linemen pulling guys with them. Do you like the play? Do you think it should be a legal football play?
I am open to debates about it. I don't necessarily like a lot when you start dictating a way the game is played.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this in terms of like the shift.
Okay.
And how Major League Baseball, banned the shift.
It's
it's dictating a way that you play the game, but it was partly because of style and then what it was doing. And I kind of have a similar feeling to this where it feels like there might be actually push from the rest of the league to at least change it for a year to see what happens.
Change it to what? Just make it illegal? Like you can't push guys from behind?
Push a quarterback from behind.
Okay, would that be in any setting, or the guy gets loose, like Saquon runs, 8 yards, and he's down to the 1, and then there's a pile up, and can they push the pile
I think it would probably be pretty worded, like you cannot line up behind a quarterback and push him directly after the snap or something.
My feeling on it is, not that you asked, but I'll tell you anyway. I don't like it, but I'm not sure I think it should be banned. I'm not a big fan of watching that play. It's like whatever, right? We all watch football to watch something, kind of exciting. For that, there's no excitement to that. Now Jalen Hurts is scoring touchdowns, and if he's your quarterback in fantasy, and you're loving it because every time you get down to the 1 yard line, you're getting Jalen Hurts yards and you're getting Jalen Hurts points. I don't love the play, but I'm not certain I think it should be banned. I guess I need a reason that it should be banned, other than we can't stop it. If the reason is we can't stop it, the answer then is, well, flip and stop it, right?
Yeah, do you then address potentially, because I know you can't push from behind on special teams plays, but does that same thing go over to defense? Because why don't you just put your linebackers behind your defensive tackles and just start shoving them right into the middle of the line?
And that might be the evolution of it.
The offense is doing. And then at that point in time, do you have a discussion, all right, is this something that is bad for the game, just visually and player-wise?
Yeah, and that could be where this evolves to. Mark Murphy is the CEO of the Packers. Quote, there's no skill involved, and it's almost an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. I'd like to see the league prohibit pushing or aiding the quarterback on this play. There used to be a rule prohibiting this, but it's no longer enforced because I believe it was thought to be too hard for officials to see. The play is bad for the game, and we should go back to prohibiting the push of the runner. This would bring back the traditional quarterback sneak that worked well for Bart Starr and the Packers in the Ice Bowl, end quote. Tom Brady was as good at the quarterback sneak as anybody we've seen in this generation. So the NFL said that last year there wasn't enough sound reasoning to ban that play. But they did create a rule requiring pushers. The designated pusher on the play would be Saquon Barkley, and he must start at least 1 yard behind the quarterback. Okay. So that was their regulation last year, starting the pusher 1 yard back. Bill Cowher, Hall of Fame coach, analyst on CBS. Quote, "It's not a football play. It's rugby. They call it a scrum. I mean, that's what it is. Let's call it the way it is. I mean, you're pushing people and pushing them over. If it's just a quarterback sneak, I get it, but it becomes like a push in the back, and it's a scrum. It's not a strategical play, in my opinion," end quote. The Eagles were 90% successful on it. Again, I got to have a better reason than I can't stop it. I don't like it
to
either.
me, like, that is actually, the Eagles made it a strategic advantage for themselves by realizing a scrum is something that works in short yardage situations.
Yep. I mean, so that's their strategy. And look, this is my guys are bigger and stronger and tougher than yours. This is my guys are going to get lower. My quarterback, does he leg press 600 pounds? Is that what they tell me?
Probably right there with Saquon in terms of what those guys can do.
Right. Cowher continued, "I think there's a safety element to this. I would have to think, because when you have 600 pounds pushing on one person who's trying to stay in there at 300 pounds, that just seems like a safety issue." Okay. Listen a little more. Continued, Cowher. "The game of football is more strategic. That's rugby. Nothing against rugby, but if you want to get a scrum, you want to see a scrum, go to a rugby match." End quote. Okay. Again, I've heard the safety issue piqued my ears. I don't know that there's any data behind it because the league is very in on safety issues, as they should be. I don't like it. I've never been a fan of it. Hand it off to someone. I mean, and you could be sitting there saying, "Jeff, why is that any more or less exciting or intriguing or whatever football than handing it off to your tailback who's following a fullback and running off the right guard into a pile?" And I'm not sure I got an answer for you because that's not all that great either. I got to get a yard. I got to get a half a yard.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm inclined to say, as I sit here without listening to the arguments, because I'm not sure I've heard them, other than I hate it and I can't stop it, I'm inclined to say, leave the damn play in there and learn how to stop it, because
it really is just pointing at one team. And, oh man, Philadelphia is so good at this, we don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't see Patrick Mahomes doing that every play. Jane Daniels ain't running it every play. It's just Philadelphia, and you don't like it. And people will go back to the NFC Championship game, and they're like, well, we can't have moments where you see that the Commanders did, and they almost awarded them a touchdown. Well, yeah, because the Commanders kept jumping off sides intentionally.
Well, yeah. And then the Josh Allen play, they ran it, but I guess that was just a spot anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. It could have been any kind of play where the spot was. I don't like it. I've never really liked the play. But I'm not sure I see a reason that you're going to tell me we got to ban it. To your point, a team has found, you called it a loophole. I think that's probably right. They found something that works really well for them, that they're better at than anybody else, that they're succeeding at a 90% clip because their offensive line and their quarterback are stronger than your defensive front. And they got dudes pushing them from behind. I got to believe the answer is stop it. Not stop cut it out, but learn how to stop the damn play and they'll run something else. And by the way, we've never seen them line up in that thing and go deep, have we? I mean, that's coming one day, isn't it?
They've ran a couple off-center plays from it. But.
Yeah, but never like faked it, dropped back, and let the tight end roll. Because I think that's the next evolution of that. I don't know. Where are you? I mean, you watched it. I know you've got an opinion on it. I know you do. 505-246-0610, because everybody does. If you're an Eagle fan, you love it. If you're a Chiefs fan, you hate it. Obviously, if you're a Packer, you hate it. But is it something that should be banned? 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Mo Maestas, state senator from Albuquerque, is going to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk to him about a couple of bills that he's got dropped up in the legislature, sports-related bills. One regarding NMAA, high school athletics, and the way it's governed, and a lot of things in there. Another one on the New Mexico Gaming Commission. And then at 8:30, you want to hear what Richard Pitino had to say? We'll hear what Richard Pitino had to say at 8:30, and then Kenny Thomas at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ACC, SEC, and Big 12.
Remember the WAC? The WAC may be hitting the end. And it's, I mean, I don't want to cry a tear, but it is kind of sentimental in a way. So many of you all grew up in the WAC, the Lobos in the WAC with UTEP and San Diego State and Utah and BYU and all those teams. Big West presidents, that's the Big West. That is UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, Long Beach State, UC Riverside, UC San Diego. The Big West presidents today are going to vote, and they are expected to vote in the affirmative to add Utah Valley and Cal Baptist to the Big West. That would replace UC Davis and who else is leaving the Big West? Somebody else leaving the Big West. So, I just had it up. Anyway, Seattle left, but Seattle's going to the West Coast Conference because they were going over with Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's leaving the WAC. So, the WAC, when the Aggies were in it in 2021-22, New Mexico State, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, Lamar, Abilene Christian, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what they're going to be left with, Abilene Christian, Southern Utah, Tarleton State, Utah Tech, and UT Arlington. That's it. I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, are they going to try to bring, are some of these Southland teams, they're going to try to bring up to Division I? I mean, Southland is Division I, but Southland is Division I. And Southland would be, right, it's just not Division I football, nor is the WAC. Those teams are going to have to find a place, aren't they? And I think this might be the end, dude. I just don't know where they're going to go. Back in 1981, I know that's a long time ago, 4 of the top 32 players taken in the 81 NBA draft were in the WAC. Isn't that crazy?
How about that?
Danny Ainge, Fred Roberts, Danny Vrains, Tom Chambers, and Charles Bradley. Yeah. I mean, they're looking like Lamar, where they like, wow. I think that's finally kind of going to come to. It's a good thing the Aggies got out, right?
Yeah, it's on life support. I don't know where the support's coming from.
Yeah, and some of you are saying good because that opens up one more at-large spot in the NCAA tournament, which it would. I mean, it would be just one less. But I just don't know how they're going to survive, the 5 teams that are left. But yeah, so Utah Valley is going to be the only non-California team in the Big West. And there'll be 2 teams, JJ, in Riverside. You got a big battle, Big West battles in Riverside between UC Riverside and Cal Baptist. So that league will now be UC San Diego, UC Irvine, Cal State Northridge, UC Riverside, UC Santa Barbara. Oh, Hawaii is the other team that's leaving the Big West, JJ. Hawaii. Cal State Bakersfield, Cal Poly, Long Beach State, and Cal State Fullerton. So it's literally all Southern California. Or it's central. I mean, it goes up as high as Bakersfield and San Luis Obispo, and then Utah Valley's going to have to fly in. So I don't know if they did a travel stipend, but they threw Utah Valley a lifeline, 100%, don't you think?
They did.
Because I don't know what where would Utah Valley go? And they got a decent program for what they're doing. But it's a bus league. UC San Diego, Irvine, Northridge, Riverside, Santa Barbara. Davis is out. Hawaii is out. So it's Bakersfield and Cal Poly. So you're going up to San Luis Obispo, Long Beach State, and Cal State Fullerton. Is there anybody in there you want in this league, like in the Mountain West? If you were going to say, why the hell UC Davis? And by the way, any idea what UC Davis's record is in basketball this year?
Not too good.
They're 9-8, 15-13. 9-8 in the Big West, 15-13 overall. They've lost their last three to UC San Diego, Bakersfield, and Northridge.
There's got to be something with that football piece in a couple years, right? With UC Davis.
Okay. Does that make you feel better?
No, but what makes you feel better if any of these lower conference moves?
Well, so I'm telling you, if you were going to do something like this to get into California with some basketball, I mean, out of this league, UC San Diego and UC Irvine have been, well, UC San Diego has been good this year. UC Irvine's been consistently decent. Like, how would you feel better about UC Irvine than UC Davis? They've got good baseball. They've got, I don't know, would you have felt better about that? You fly into John Wayne Airport and you're right, it's easy to get in and out. UC Irvine wouldn't have made you feel any different than Davis?
Well, there's better basketball, but the only thing I can think of there just potentially had to be something with that football piece in a couple years.
We'll see. I mean, what would have made me feel better is probably going to the West Coast Conference. USD would have made me feel a little bit better, although they're horrible. They're 1-15 and they're 4-25 in basketball. I mean, there's no reason that they should be 1-15 and 4-25 in basketball. They just shouldn't be. People are staying away from St. Mary's, but Santa Clara, people seem to like. But you're right, man. There's not a lot of easy answers out there. All right, when we come back, Senator Mo Maestas is going to be with us. I'm going to talk to him about some of the bills that he's got going. It is Senate Bill 465. We'll get into that. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff and JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as Red and Green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Legislative session is about halfway done up in Santa Fe. 60-day session to get stuff done, and there's crime bills, and there's immigration, and there's education and budgets, but there's a lot of things, and I tell you all the time, we can do a lot of things in the 60-day session. We can maybe even walk and chew gum at the same time. We can drop sports bills and have better fund programs and things like that. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We'll get back to you. Phone calls in a little bit. Kenny Thomas will be here at 9. Albuquerque Senator Mo Maestas is one of the legislators who had sponsored that bill that we talked about, and Mo was with us a couple weeks ago regarding getting NIL money for New Mexico and New Mexico State. He's also got a couple other bills, including Senate Bill 465, which pertains to high school athletics, and I want to get into that with him. Senator Mo Maestas joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Senator. How you living?
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Marvelous to be here.
I appreciate you. First, let's get an update. I know that you had the hearing a week ago Monday regarding the NIL bills to get New Mexico and New Mexico State $2.5 million. It got reworded a bit so that the money would not go directly to the student athletes, but that money would be proportionate or what's the word I'm looking for? Appropriated to the universities. How did that end up, or how did that go?
It was very successful, Jeff. It was wonderfully surprising. Nobody pushed back. Nobody didn't like the idea. We're going to add on top of the budget to the Aggies and Lobos $2.5 million extra at a minimum, and that'll go to athletes, and that'll, we just got to continue to invest in our D1 programs as well as all the other college athletics throughout the state. So It was great. It passed 8-1. It's going to be in the budget. And once it's in the budget, hopefully we can keep it in the budget forever.
Beautiful. All right, so that was positive if you're a fan of that. So a couple other things, and it was reading through Senate Bill 465, which you're sponsoring, and it's relating to high school sports and the New Mexico Activities Association. There's a whole lot of meat in here. The things that jumped off the page to me, maybe some stuff I didn't know. I did know a student had to sit out. Like if you were at one school and you transferred to another school, you couldn't play sports next year. I didn't know that private schools couldn't give athletic scholarships. I didn't know that how disproportionate the NMAA was. So you're trying to address a lot of things in this bill.
Yes, we are. And NMAA is fantastic. It's one of the best in the country. Of course, it organizes all of our state tournaments, the basketball tournament at the Pit, things like that. In state statute, there's just a reference to an organization that has duties and responsibilities over high school sports. So the NMAA receives no government funding, and they do a great job, but their rules are antiquated, with all due respect. They have rules that I think keep us back. So we're going to have a conversation in Santa Fe as to what some new cool rules should be. And as you mentioned, Albuquerque Academy cannot give an athletic scholarship to a kid from Albuquerque. It's prohibited in NMAA rules. If you transfer schools, even if you move to another town, you can't play sports. You have to sit out a year. Also, if you go to a camp, say there's a D1 kid, he goes to the Archie Manning camp.
This one's
if he comes back to Albuquerque, he has to sit out a year. So these are not promoting competition. They're not promoting the best of our abilities. So I'm going to do a bill to usurp those rules. I dropped it late just to make a point. I was probably not going to pass, but I want NMA to really look at its rules and modernize. For example, I didn't do this in the bill, but they have that crazy rule. Even though you're ranked first, you have to play on the road because you hosted them 10 years ago, and there's all kinds of crazy rules like that.
I've been screaming that one for years. He is Senator Mo Maestas. He's with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, could you talk about what you mean by the scholarships? Because is that just because it's an academy school or
any private school?
Correct, JJ. I used academy as an example. You cannot give a athletic scholarship at a private school in the state of New Mexico. It is prohibited by rule by the NMAA. And so, so for example, Pius, you can't build a super team. So I talked to the NMAA and I said, what is wrong with building a super team? Who is harmed by that? And like, well, but you're gonna mess up with APS. It's gonna be a disadvantage. I'm like, yeah, but who is harmed by that?
I guess the other schools.
That's 5 kids. They get to start for their APS teams. If you play this super team, you become better as a basketball player. In other words, that there's not harm that's going to happen as a result. We need to compete. We need to bring our best and brightest together. We need to allow our student athletes to compete at the highest level and not be prohibited from doing things that every other state does.
Here's one I did not know, and this is paragraph F in your bill. It says a student in the 8th grade would be eligible to participate in high school athletic activity without losing a season of eligibility. I didn't know they lose a season. So they're one of the best athletes we have in our state, Mo, and I don't know if you know who Jana Raymer is, but she is a cross-country runner at El Dorado, participated and won state, the big school cross-country as an 8th grader, went to the Nike Invitational, the regional, and Phoenix won the regional as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she loses a year. So her senior year, she's going to be out of eligibility?
She actually doesn't. APS changed its rule about 3-4 years ago. But prior to that, if you played in the 8th grade at a private school, you could play 5 years. But at a non-private school, you had to sit out a year. Or if you changed districts from the 8th to 9th grade, you would lose a year of eligibility. So, but yeah, APS changed its rules 3-4 years ago. It's done wonders for wrestling at Volcano Vista.
Good.
And that cross-country runner is going to, compete 5 times in the state tournament. So we just wanted to make it a statewide rule and just kind of bring to light some of the quirkiness of NMAA rules. And once again, NMAA is awesome.
Yeah, they do a great job.
I love them to death, but their board is top heavy on super tiny towns to make it fair. And sometimes we get caught up in this fairness here in New Mexico as opposed to, life is not fair. Competition is fair if you're allowed to compete. We need to teach our young people to compete at the highest level.
Yeah, and on that, and tell me if I'm close to this. The composition of the board of NMAA, and they want to be around the state, and I totally understand that. But there's like 6 of the 9 members are in towns that are total population is like 150,000 people. And then the rest of the state has got like 3 or 4 slots. Is that correct or close to correct on the board?
No, it's close to it. Yeah, it's so Albuquerque, which is a third of the population of the state, and the only remnants of a city in New Mexico, has 1 delegate, has 1 board member, and of course that's Superintendent Blakey from APS. The last time I checked, Jeff, of the 13 board members, the 9 board members from the smallest towns, if you add up the population of their towns, it adds up to 150,000 people. So you have 9 people from super small towns. You have 4 people representing the other 90% of the state. So, we got to, it's one person, one vote. I mean, that's what Dr. King the marched for. So theoretically, Albuquerque would have a third of the board. The future of our state is Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, Albuquerque.
So it'd be proportionate.
These are the places that are growing.
Yeah, be proportionate to population. Senator Mo Maestas is with us on the Sports Animal.
What kind of, feedback have you gotten? And you're throwing this out there, try to get people's attention. What are they saying about it right now?
Oh, good question. Good question. I don't think I sent it to NMAA. They've read it. It'll be a great hearing because a lot of my colleagues don't know this stuff. So it'll be a great hearing. Hopefully it spurs conversation. I know that there's some board members struggling with these issues as well. But we just need to have a conversation as to, do we want to compete or do we want to, have this fairness component which leads to the lowest common denominator? I mean, we just got to compete, and that's my philosophy. But we'll see how it goes. And I think NMAA, like how there's a portion that says, well, how dare you tell us what to do? But NMAA is closer to our kids than any other entity in the state, and they're completely on their own. They're completely unregulated by the legislature. Right. So the legislature is at least a democratic process. So I think hopefully they'll respect that.
All right, you're dropping another bill regarding the New Mexico Athletic Commission, and what are you trying to see done there?
Oh, man, that's a great bill. The Athletic Commission, formerly the Boxing Commission, it regulates boxing, MMA, any type of mixed martial arts. Bare knuckle fighting is coming back after a 100-year hiatus. Yeah. But the statute's antiquated. It was written in the 80s. Believe it or not, when you promote a fight, you have to pay fees, which then pays for the commission. Now that all the money we have in Santa Fe, we don't need to be nickel and diming people. So we're taking the fees out, which the promoters love, particularly out-of-state promoters, because they have to pay a TV fee in statute. So we're taking away all the fees. We're funding the commission just like normal state government. We're bumping the board from 5 to 7. Ed Manzanares for UNM is the chair, does a fantastic job. We're going to add a lawyer and a doctor to the board and just professionalize it so that the board becomes advisory and promoters promote, and we have these great fights here in New Mexico.
Beautiful. And when will that be heard?
That one is going tomorrow. It's a House bill. My colleague, Representative Art de la Cruz, was a commissioner before he got elected, so he's bringing that bill from the House Bill 444, and then we'll bring it over to the Senate in a couple of weeks.
And I think
get it on the governor's desk.
One of the keys on that, Mo, is one of the reasons the fees were there initially. And correct me if I have this misunderstood, the fees that the promoters were paying to the commission essentially were there to fund what the commission had to do, right? So the commission's business was funded by, I want to say it was like a 1 or 2% fee on ticket sales or whatever. So it wasn't very large, but it was certainly a piece of the pie. And if it was not a big show, it was significant enough that the promoters were feeling it. And now what you're saying is there's enough money at the state level where the state can make an appropriation to fund the athletic commission without having to go and have the promoters pay that and keep the commission afloat.
No, that's exactly right. It's weird how shoestring budget state government is historically. So this statute and these arrangements were from the 80s. A lot of out-of-state promoters kind of freak out on these fees. USC hasn't been back to Albuquerque in almost a decade. Top Rank came last year, but that was the first time they'd been here in a decade. So in addition to the local promoters, great promoters, including Teresa Tapia, we're hoping to bring out-of-state promoters into New Mexico because they just freak out on these fees. So we eliminate the fees. We give promoters a little love. We have some great fighters here in New Mexico, great MMA trainers. We could be a mecca for fights here in the near future. So this bill is really a fun bill.
All right, what do you need people to do?
Awesome. Everybody has one senator. Everybody has one representative. Just send an email on the subject line. Note the bill. Say, hey, please support,
Senate Bill
444, and that'll help tremendously.
So the NMAA bill is Senate Bill 465, right?
The high school bill is Senate Bill 465.
Yep.
And the Athletic Commission boxing bill is House Bill 444.
All right. And so if you want to support that, you can send an email to your senator and your rep and have them ask them to support that if you're in favor of that. Continue to do good work, man. Appreciate you. And, you got our kids in mind and you're thinking forward. It sounds like you're getting a lot of traction up there. How, the rest of the session is going pretty well?
No, it's going great. I mean, it cuts into the hoops. I don't see a basketball game for another month, but go Lobos. And it's going great. We're struggling with crime. We got a lot of money. We have a $1 billion behavioral health package that's on the Gov's desk. We're working together and moving New Mexico forward. We have a tremendous opportunity with the funding we have. And I think New Mexico and Albuquerque in particular is just going to be the it place in this country for the next 10 years. So there's a lot of love for our young people.
Real
and
quick,
Mark, happen.
Any money for facility upgrades at UNM? Is any discussion for that?
Yes. Our capital bill, our capital bill is going to start getting drafted on Wednesday, so I got to finalize my capital by tomorrow. And there will be some capital for new video screens in Lobo facilities. Hopefully football, maybe. I think the pit has some good screens. But, yeah, there's a lot of love for UNM athletics in terms of facilities as well as Aggies.
All right, we'll get into that next time.
Projects throughout the state.
All right, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate you spending some time. I know you're busy. Get to work, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Have a great day, everyone. Drive safe. Thank you.
Be well. He is Senator Mo Maestas. Interesting stuff, right? I mean, look, stuff you don't think about it in a 60-day session, and there's some money and there's some time, and look, they're getting crime stuff done, and they're getting that stuff done, but I think there's other stuff that's got to get addressed as well. So, all right, 505-246-0610 if you want to hear or get into anything Mo said. Hey, we'll hear from Richard Pitino at 8:30. What he had to say yesterday regarding the big game coming up against San Diego State. Got a sweet deal coming up for you next. If you're shopping for an engagement ring or any piece of jewelry, I've got your spot, and it is John Thomas Jewelers. They will be your jewelry store. They're mine. I love what they do. I love how they do it. I love the variety. I love the fact that they've got a custom state-of-the-art design center right there in their store. So whether you're engagement ring shopping or you're wowing her with an anniversary gift or whatever the occasion happens to be, or you're looking for an engagement ring, to pop the question. They've got over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings right there on hand to try on. And if they don't have what you want, they will make it for you. So see why they're the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town, fastest-growing jeweler in New Mexico for 3 straight years, and voted America's coolest jewelry store by In-Store Magazine. So many reasons to see for yourself why John Thomas Jewelers is the best jeweler in Albuquerque. 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310 on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal, 3rd floor of the Lewis University building, and at johnthomasjewelers.com.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Wait, I thought there was some really interesting stuff in there with what Mo's trying to do, and like educational stuff. JJ, I looked through that bill. You know, I had no idea, to your point, that private schools couldn't give an athletic scholarship. That I didn't know about the transfer rule, and I think that's a little restrictive. There might need to be a little something on it. You know what? You know, I don't know. In college, you could transfer all you want. You should be able to do so in high school. All of those things. So, we'll I don't know. I thought it was good. And then the athletic commission bill, if it helps bring in more events, it's a good thing, right?
That's a very good thing.
And promoters are, you know, I know promoters have complained about the fees. And while it's a small percentage, if it was there simply to keep the commission, you know, to pay for the commission, whatever they got to do, the travel, the expenses for the commission, if there's money to appropriate to that, and I have no idea what it costs, but if it brings you more MMA fights or more boxing or more whatever events, I think it all is positive for our economy, don't you?
Absolutely. You want to bring in events. You want to bring in stuff that will interest the community, stuff that has had a good backing within the state. And you're just looking, as you said, you know, multiple ways to promote different things across the board.
All right. I guess those are over there. Hold on. You can grab those headsets, John, if you want. They're way over there. I threw you way over there. It's Pie Week. I'm running John all around this place. But we're doing something really cool for you today. And you've got a sweet deal. And it's a place that you know, and it's a place that you probably, I know you love it. We got a sweet deal for you this morning. You go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. You click on the sweet deal icon at 9 a.m., and I wouldn't wait much longer because I think they're going to go. And you are grubbing at Village Inn, $60 worth of Village Inn for $30. John Hogue is the GM. I said, is it Hogue or Hoge?
It's Hogue.
That's what I thought you said to me. Good to see you. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. Things are going great. Thank you for having us.
No, I appreciate you being here. Village Inn is kind of one of those spots, right? Everybody loves some Village Inn. Everybody's been there, and you think Village Inn, you think pie, but you want to think a whole lot more than just pie, don't you?
We certainly do. I mean, we have the best breakfast in America.
In America?
In America. We are the breakfast. We are the breakfast experts, but we also do a great lunch and dinner meals as well. We've got pot roast, chicken fried steak dinners, fish and chips. We've got the full menu, and our menu is available all day, every day. We have any one of our 3 locations, Manal in Wyoming, San Mateo and Academy, and Yale just south of Gibson. Our hours are 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, and 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday.
All right, always open for dinner. You do Grubhub and DoorDash and all those things, and I know you're hiring as well, by the way, if people are looking for something.
Anybody who wants to get a great job and be part of a winning team, you can go on to Indeed or our website at www.villageinn.com, where you can also access those job applications and see what we have open at any of our locations.
All right, what's your background in radio? You've done this before. You've got some background. Like before you were the star at Village Inn, what the hell did you do?
I did a little bit of announcing here and there. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 505 foodies everywhere. It's time.
Damn, dude. All right, I'm out. You can do the. You got sports down? Can you do the get people ready for the Lobo San Diego State game tonight?
I really could. I might be able to do Go Lobos. San Diego State's been a bit of a nemesis in the past for us, but we got their number tonight.
Damn, look at you go. All right, listen on the breakfast thing. Best breakfast in America. Famous, made from scratch buttermilk pancakes, fresh eggs, any style. Bacon, steaming hot coffee. What's the go-to for breakfast at Village Inn for you?
The go-to for breakfast at Village Inn is our VIB, Very Incredible Breakfast. That's where you can choose 4 or 5 items of your liking. You've got 13 different selections there, so you can build it custom just the way you like it. But if you like the mainstay, get that chicken fried steak and eggs. That's our world-famous chicken fry, 2 eggs any style, hash browns, and your choice of toast, tortilla, or pancakes.
Damn. Is the menu online?
The menu is online as well.
Where do we look? Is it
www.villageinn.com, and that's the same menu at all 3 of our locations, Wyoming and Manal, San Mateo and Academy, and of course my location, Yale, just south of Gibson.
That's your spot over by the airport, right by the office.
Yes, sir.
All right, what are we doing for mathematical pie day? Because look, Village Inn is breakfast, it's all that, but it is pie week. It is, and what you guys do really well is the sweet stuff. What are we doing? Like mathematical pie days, 314, JJ. I wasn't sure about it, 3.141592, whatever the number is.
Yeah, we just dropped the points off, and we're rounding out to 3.14, but at all 3 of our locations, we'll have plenty of slices available, plus the best pie in America, 19 different varieties. I always suggest that you go and order online at www.villageinn.com, but I give you my word, we have plenty available for walk-in, and you will not be disappointed in the selection.
All right, and we're hiring too. I mean, go talk to Brandon on the way out and see. I mean, like, with that voice, can you that voice? All right, how about this? It's the opening drive with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Can you do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You bet. I always got your back there, Jeff. Let me be.
All right, it's Village Inn. It's your sweet deal. It is today, and it's the best breakfast in America, best pie in America. 3 locations here in the Boracay. It's live for you at 9 o'clock. You get $60 worth of Village Inn. It will only cost you $30. The way I look at it, that's $30 of free Village Inn. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. 9 o'clock, click on the opening. No, don't do that. Click on the sweet deal icon and do it at 9 because I think these are going to go. You're awesome, man. Good luck with this. Have fun. I know you're going to have fun. Well, I know you're going to have fun going around the radio station and spitting into the microphone for the next hour. So great to see you, and best of luck with this whole thing. Happy Pie Week.
1,000 thank yous to Jeff, to you, and to Cumulus Radio for having us. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be here with you.
He's John Hogue, the general manager of Village Inn. It's our sweet deal today. When we come back, we'll hear what Richard Pitino had to say as the Lobos get ready to play San Diego State tonight. Former Lobo All-America Kenny Thomas is going to be in studio at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
All right, we're going to talk with Kenny Thomas coming up at 9 o'clock, Global Basketball. But let's get into what Richard Pitino had to say yesterday. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Lobos and Aztecs tonight, 9 o'clock in San Diego, 8:30 pregame over on News Radio KKOB. Lobos in first place, Aztecs on the bubble of the NCAA. Who needs it more? I don't know. They both need it a lot. If there's a little bit more leeway for the NCAA, it's probably New Mexico. So maybe San Diego State needs it more. They'll be without Magoon Guath, their 7-foot freshman. The Lobos may be without Mustafa Amsil. And, JJ, you and I had a conversation yesterday. I want you to hear what Richard Pitino had to say because I asked him, is this the one where I asked him specifically, what is it? And I asked him, I understand this, and he and I have had this conversation, but I wanted him to explain to people, what exactly are you missing if Mustafa Amsil is not in the lineup?
You'd lose a lot. I mean, I think he was almost 30 minutes a game. He's a fifth-year senior. He's got experience in our program. He's tough. He's physical. You replace a veteran with a freshman. I mean, I like Jovan a lot, but he's a freshman. I bet you if you ask Jovan, would you rather start or come off the bench? He'd probably be a little bit more comfortable coming off the bench right now. Yeah, I mean, that's a key starter on a team that won a championship last year, went to the tournament. He was sixth man of the year, so we're certainly not better without him. So, hopefully sooner or later he gets back, but it's going to be a time for anybody who misses time like that to just get back into rhythm. So, Jovan's been good. Sacco's helped off in an increased role as well. But you're certainly never better when you're down a starter.
Yeah, and it's exactly what I was kind of saying yesterday, right? I like Jovan a lot too. But what Mustafa Amsil has given you is so steady. You're losing a fifth-year guy, and, I quoted him from many times ago, you want to get old and stay old, right?
Well, it's losing a starter changes the roles for everyone else. Like, Jovan is better when he's playing behind Amsil.
Yeah, well, and that'll lead into this one then. Let's go here, because I did ask him then about, so what does that do to the rotation, right? It's exactly that's a perfect lead into that one, JJ, because all right, so you got a guy out, you replaced him, but that changes everything you're doing rotation wise, and so how much rotation flexibility do you have, or do you even want to have?
Yeah, you got to have B plans, C plans. You got to have contingency plans and every opponent's different, right? I mean, sometimes you can play small, sometimes you can't play small, or you're going to get burnt. So we've had to deal with it, to be able to beat a team like Utah State without CJ, without Mustafa. That's a testament to the other guys that stepped up. So you never have as much depth as you want. Sometimes it can be overrated. Sometimes it can't. Right now, it's very, very important for us that we have that. So we mix and match lineups in practice. You try to systematically create, offensively, defensively, things that are crystal clear regardless of what position you play in. And, I think everybody's pretty comfortable so far with that.
Yeah, so everybody's got to adjust. And this goes back, JJ, remember back August, September, October, you have the emails that we get every year for the last 16 years. There's only one basketball, and how they're going to keep them all happy. And it all works out, and the rotation gets to be what it is. And, are you going to lose a couple guys to the portal in March who didn't play enough? Yeah. And some guys are going to stick around. But I think their depth is something that's really going to be apparent as we go through the next 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with Richard. I think depth is overrated at times. You have roles. Like, a lot of teams only play 7 or 8 guys. There's just for some reason, there's people, think like, oh, you have a point guard and your backup point guard. So your backup point guard has to play 12 minutes every game, and your backup center needs to play 9 minutes every game. No, your starters play as much as they can, and then you fill in what's needed, whether it's just getting a few minutes of rest before immediate timeout, playing within foul trouble, because it's pretty evident that when healthy, this is a 7-man rotation.
Mm-hmm. With a few minutes scattered here and there. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, this is something you talked about back in the first hour with Richard Pitino. Look, you're going to San Diego State. You know what you're going into. You're going into a hostile environment, but no more hostile than yours or Logan or maybe even Boise. Probably a little more so. He complimented San Diego State on what they are, but how do you get ready for this game? We're not changing what we do.
Approach never changes. It's never going to change. I work very, very hard at that. I have a great belief in that. Is that right, wrong? I don't know. But, certainly as you get later into February, into March, and you understand that there's, quote, big games, I get it. But the approach, I just try to remain extremely consistent with what we do. We know playing at San Diego State will be very, very challenging. Boise clearly needed that game to kind of get back into the NCAA tournament picture. But, there's a storyline for every game where you need it, the opponent needs it, and you just try to block it out and remain very, very consistent.
Yeah, and that's who he's been and who this program has been. And I think that's one of the things that you and I and JJ, I know you appreciate about the way Richard does things. It's consistency. There's something to not getting too high, too low, knowing, first of all, being confident enough in how you do things and what you do.
Yeah, the players know who they're playing. They know what's at stake, and there's no reason to pile onto that. Let the radio shows do that. Let the fans talk about the magnitude of the game and the impact on a resume, and you just present that confidence in yourself, in your game plan, because the game plan can't change just because it's a bigger game. You know what you have to do when you're going any of these games, whether you're playing San Diego State or Air Force.
Yeah. By the way, there's pie out there. I didn't want you to miss out on the pie. Some of the world's greatest pie. C.J. Nolan was in there talking about things, and one of the things I want you to hear was his response. I asked him, how did the team respond to the loss? They had won 8 in a row. It'd been over a month since they had lost. And so I asked CJ, in the locker room, how'd you guys respond to getting beat the other night?
Too bad. Honestly, we wanted to come out and we knew what we did wrong. Like I said, we were fouling a lot, not in the right position on a lot of plays. We knew what we needed to do. We're just ready for the next road game, honestly. We're ready to get back out there and play.
Yeah, and he was pretty good at, you bring in a veteran guy like him in a situation like this to talk about this. And I think he encompasses, there's a lot of Richard Pitino in what he says, right?
Yeah.
They say you take on the personality of your coach as a team. There's a lot of Richard Pitino in the way CJ spoke.
And it's just that mindset as a player, too, is a lot of his message was just confidence, man. You're going to be frustrated after a loss, but it can't carry over. The next day, you have to be on to the next thing. It's simple, but it's a tough place you get to because you've been around players for a long time. I've been around players, and each one is different. And sometimes you can ride those emotional swings a lot more than other players. So if you can have that just consistent mindset, get back to it, know you're good. This team's fine. They're 14-2 in Mountain West play, and the next challenge ahead is a great opportunity for you on the road against a team, that's hungry to hold serve at home. Whether or not you're looking at if San Diego State was a 14-win team versus an 11-win team.
It's a perfect lead into where we're going to go when we come back. When we come back from the break, what C.J. Nolan said about preparing for this particular opponent, for this game, for the magnitude of this game, for going to San Diego and playing the Aztecs tonight. We'll hear more from C.J. Nolan when we get back. Former Lobo Kenny Thomas, the 11-year NBA veteran, is going to be in studio coming up at 9 o'clock, and we'll kick it with Kenny and get you ready for Lobos and San Diego State. I ask you on a daily basis, who's watching your home when you're not there? Is it the good guys or is it the bad guys? And you're well aware property crime is on the rise in our town. You're well aware that the officer shortage continues to be an issue. And that's why I recommend IPS, International Protective Service. I've used them for years. It's affordable private security that protects what you've worked so hard to build, your home, your business, protect your family. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they'll install alarms and camera systems, and they have a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7, all raising the level of security around your home and around your business. My family feels better. My neighbors obviously do because they now work with IPS as well. So who's watching your home when you're gone? Look, a quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. You can't prevent all the crime. But when you've got no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. Don't wait until it's too late. Call IPS. See what they can do for you. I think you're going to be impressed. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com.
This report.
Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need.
Conference tournament, looking forward to bringing it. God, it's 2 weeks away. Holy, so like 2 weeks from today, we're there, right? JJ and I will be there and bringing you the show from Las Vegas. I want to say thank you to the sponsors who are making sure that we're there. DSI Document Solutions Incorporated, Frontier Restaurants in Albuquerque, tradition for 50 years. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Blake's Lotaburger sending us there, in New Mexico, tradition for 52 years. Airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunport. Corish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. ECO Electric, your P&M authorized car charger installer. Frank's Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. And John Thomas Jewelers, and you'll see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque for 4 straight years. Big one tonight, Lobos and San Diego State. CJ Nolan, Lobos' 6th man, spoke yesterday, and he was asked about this game. Is it any different? You're coming off a loss. You're going to San Diego State. It's the flag bearer of this league. It's a tough place to play. It's a big game. How are you as players preparing to play the Aztecs?
More so, yes, they have really good guards. Other teams have really good guards as well, but they, like you said, they do pressure a lot. I think the preparation that Coach Patino has is doing a lot of the get open drills and a lot of, just being strong with the ball because they like to foul as well. I think those things are going to play a key factor as well, for sure.
Yeah, you got it's this is different, a little different team. Everybody plays defense, right? And there's some good defensive teams in this league, right? Utah State's good. New Mexico's really good. I think there's teams. San Diego State's a little bit of a different breed when it comes to how they play defense. 40 minutes up and down the floor.
Yeah, it's leaning into the physicality aspect of it. Willing to put a body on someone, willing to get in there. And there's a different level of effort that teams put forth defensively. The Aztecs have set that foundation. It's been what they've been built off for a long time now. And I think we've seen spurts of that from the Lobos this season. I think for New Mexico, that's going to be a big thing for them tonight. Is can they match that energy? Can they be a disruptive force on the defensive end of the floor? And to me, it's two teams that are going to go out there and try to press you, and it starts at who can win at the rim, and then from there, is anyone get hot? Can you knock down a couple of those outside shots, which could help you in the swings of the game?
Yeah, it's full slate tonight. You get the late one. It's FS1 if you want to watch it. It's over on News Radio KKOB. 9 o'clock scheduled tip. Probably going to go a little later than that. 8:30 pregame show. New Mexico it's bet down to 1.5. JJ, it opened at 2.5. It's bet down to 1.5. 7 o'clock tonight. Air Force will host Colorado State. The Rams are a 12.5-point favorite at the Academy. UNLV on the road at San Jose State. What do you think the spread is there? UNLV at San Jose State.
I know it.
I would. So I'll take San Jose State in the 2.5 at home. I think San Jose State wins tonight. If DeDan Thomas is out, San Jose State plays pretty good at home. I like San Jose State there, don't you?
I would take the points with them.
Yeah.
In this matchup.
Nevada's at home. I mean, they're beyond desperate mode, right? They're down in 4 days in Vegas, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Nevada's at home. They play Wyoming tonight. The Pac's a 12.5-point favorite. Lobos still have to go there, and then you get the game tonight. And then a really, really big one tomorrow. 8:30 start on FS1 tomorrow night. Utah State will be in Boise. And depending on what happens tonight, if the Lobos get beat by San Diego State, Utah State could be playing to get a share of first place. So 505-246-0610, and you can get in on any of that. Kenny Thomas is going to be with us, but you got a big one tonight. Looking forward to hearing what Kenny has to say, how he would prepare differently. This is where I want to listen to a big man, right? So when he played against guys like Doliak or some of the guys that were there, do you, in your mind, prepare differently when their best big is not going to be available? Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have guys coming off the bench, because, JJ, they got guys, they got size. It's not like all of a sudden they're super small, and they just don't have Magoon Gwath coming at you. Heidi's big but not as physical. I think Coleman Jones at 6'10" has been a lot better for them. So, I mean, it's not like all of a sudden you're going to be playing against a guy at 6'1". But I'm interested to hear what he has to say. Kicking it with Kenny when we come back. Lobos and Aztecs tonight. Opening drive at 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Butt on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, happy game day to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Big one tonight. Get a nap in. Get a cup of coffee in. Get us a little sleepy in. Whatever it is, but looking forward to a big one tonight. Lobos and Aztecs, and enjoy this because this is one of those games where 2 years from now we're going to miss this one. You know, when the leagues split and the Pac goes their way and the Mountain West, goes their way. This is, and maybe this is just me. And obviously, look, there's a little something to it for me. It's my alma mater. I went to San Diego State. I don't hide from that. You all know that. But I think this rivalry has been the best. If you take the last, 15 years of the Mountain West, and I don't know who San Diego State considers their rival, JJ, but
no one.
Right? That's kind of like the BYU thing. Utah State's been good, and the Boise State stuff's been good, but I think the best, when you go back, the two teams who have the most nets are New Mexico and San Diego State, and whether it's the Alford era, and, look, Richard cut down nets last year, this has been the best rivalry in this league for the last 15 years, hasn't it?
No question. It's, the Lobos with what they were able to do with Steve Alford in the Mountain West Championships, Las Vegas, being able to push San Diego State. Yeah, the Aztecs have had the consistency, but when they've been up, it hasn't been Utah State. It hasn't been Boise State. New Mexico, San Diego State's the best matchup when both these teams are good in the Mountain West.
Yeah, so enjoy this because there's 3 left plus whatever, might happen in the tournament. And then I hope, and I'm not optimistic because the way San Diego State looks down their nose at New Mexico bothers me a lot. But I hope that this rivalry continues in non-conference games. Like, this would be good home and homes for both of these programs to schedule, whether it's in November, December, whatever it is, because I think there's a great history there. I think you can trust that each other's not going to bring your your net ranking down. I hope this one continues. So, all right, let's kick it with Kenny. He's via phone today. Not in studio, not from Barrelas. Although, he's on the road in Cali. Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great, All-America, 11 years in the NBA. There's pie here today, dude. You missed out. Like there's Village Inn brought pie, apple and cherry, all kinds of stuff. How you living?
Man, I'm
only thing we need is some ice cream. It's just too early.
No,
Life's good,
what's
man.
too early?
Hey, I always miss all the treats, but hey, this is a better treat than some pie being able to be on with you two guys.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. Thanks for. Are you laying in your bed? Like, honestly, are you horizontal right now?
No.
You sat up?
Yup. Hey, man, there's a chair right here.
I do.
I'm chilling. Yeah, I had to go to L.A. First to film some more videos for the Department of Health. That's going to be coming out in August, even though the ones that are still coming out right now. And then I had to come check on the house, man, in Sacramento.
Yeah, you got to get there sometime. All right, before we get into tonight, JJ and I were just talking about this, and you tell me where your thoughts are. Like, you had great rivalries with Utah, with BYU, and I don't know if BYU ever considered anybody their rival, but do you agree in the Mountain West in this era, the last 15 years, this rivalry has been the best? And I for one, and not just because it's my alma mater and my attachment here, I'm going to miss New Mexico versus San Diego State. I think people need to enjoy this because this is one of those that organically became really good.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because San Diego State's going to be leaving the conference, right? But I totally agree with both of you guys. I was listening, and I feel like this is a big rivalry, right? And the fact that their young fella's out right now, I think he's hurt because of his knee. I can't pronounce his name.
Magoon Guath,
yeah, it's an unfortunate situation for them, but obviously he's a key component to how San Diego State plays. They're a totally different team, but with the Lobos coming off a situation with Boise State, it's going to be interesting to see how they go in and start the game against San Diego State on the road.
All right, so when you played back in the day, and let's say you played against a Doliak or one of and there were big guys throughout this league, if you went into the game with the understanding that their big guy was not going to be there, now that doesn't mean they're small, right? I mean, Coleman Jones is 6'10", Heidi is 6'10", but Guath is different. He's a rim protector. He had 4 blocks against New Mexico here. Nelly was 3 for 10 against San Diego State in that win at the pit. And a large part was because Magoon Guath was defending him. He's not there. Do you change your mindset at all? And is there a fear of relaxing too much because their big rim protector, their best defender's not there?
I think it's a little bit of both. As far as, like, if Doliak wasn't there, okay. I would probably get a little excited because he was a thicker, stronger guy, right? But then the thing about it is, Rick Majerus, if somebody wasn't there, he always made adjustments. And then it comes down to the adjustments that are going to be made on the other side. I feel like UNM is going to have to make some adjustments, even though it's going to benefit them being able to come downhill more because he's not there, and he is that guy that normally dominates on the defensive side when it comes to protecting their rim. But they have some pretty good guys, man. Like you said, they're actually pretty good. Those 2 big guys you said, the big white guy, he plays hard.
Heidi.
Yeah, he's not a big, efficient scorer, but I feel like he's a kid that can change the whole dynamic of the game. But you got to keep in mind, there's some pieces that Patino has on the bench that can totally change the whole dynamic of the game, too, as well, because being able to space the floor, Phillip, hopefully Amzil, I don't know what his situation is right now, but Phillip and Jovan have been playing pretty good, even though Jovan didn't have a pretty good game last game. So playing in that building is very, very unique, and it's going to be challenging. I think it's going to come down to how the Lobos respond to runs.
He's Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo All-America, an 11-year NBA veteran with us, kicking it with Kenny on the opening drive.
You know, Kenny, everyone talks about the atmosphere, and there were a lot of questions about that yesterday. But when you're a good team, a good player, as you were, do you actually embrace these situations? Do you like stepping into this type of atmosphere?
And I appreciate the kind words, JJ. Yes. I mean, come on, man. The Lobos are playing some really good basketball. I know it was an unfortunate situation with the Boise State loss, but this is one of those games you got to get up for. You got to be licking your chops because, one, this is one of those games that's going to affect you guys in the long run, how you come out and you produce. So I love these games. It's kind of like Utah. I'm not comparing Rick Majerus and Keith Van Horn and that Utah team I played against to San Diego State.
Because they're not nearly as good as these Aztec teams? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah. Obviously, the Utah team was way better than the San Diego State team, but it's kind of one of those games because, like you said, the whole atmosphere for the last 10, 15 years, this game has been very significant when it comes to those primetime games outside of New Mexico State and UNM, I think.
All right. As you get closer to March, and maybe it's different now, and there weren't as many bracketologists and everything online and all the bubble. I don't even know if you guys knew where you were, right? You were always in the rankings, but you never knew, like now, you didn't have online back in 1999 when you were playing, right? And so as you got to March, did you feel more pressure in each game? Like the games mattered in January too, but it feels like as you get here, okay, everything matters more and they're on the bubble and if they don't win here, then they got to win here and they're going to slip off did you feel pressure ratcheting up as you got closer and closer to the end of the regular season?
Man, I felt pressure the whole time. Being ranked in the top 25 all 4 years with the bullseye on our back, pressure was an understatement because we always had to come out and perform to keep our top 25 status, right, and stay in that hunt. But like you say, man, I just saw something this morning that the Lobos are 9th seed and they're playing Creighton in one bracket. I'm like, it's always an 8th, 9th seed.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's always that in-between tough game that I feel like that UNM has been getting, which is where everybody has them right now. If they end up closing out this regular season and doing what they're supposed to and winning the conference, it's a whole different dynamic. And then if they go in after they get their bye and then they win 3 straight games in the tournament, it's a whole different game. This is where that 9 seed is going to go higher, and then it's going to give them an opportunity to be able to dominate and possibly get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, the 8 and 9 game's tough, and Jerry Palm currently has them on the 8 line playing 9th seed Gonzaga, so they'd be in white shirts against Gonzaga. If they get through them, they would get the number 1 overall seed, which would be Auburn. San Diego State's a 10 in Jerry Palm's bracket. Lenardi on ESPN has San Diego State as one of the last 4 buys as a 10 seed.
Crazy.
And has New Mexico. Where did Lenardi have New Mexico latest, JJ? Did you see him? I know they got to be on the 8-9 line. There they are. They're 8-9. They play UConn in the first round, and if they win, they get Duke.
See, now where does Indy Cats have him? Because he's been high on them as of late.
He always is, man, and because of his affection, and he's always been a little softer on New Mexico because of his ties to New Mexico, which I think people appreciate.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Hey, people listen to him, so it's going to be interesting, but they just have to go in. It's going to be a late game tonight. Obviously, I have my show after. But
you are doing your show afterwards. All right, good. Hey, JJ, what do we think the ceiling is then? Is it a 7 or
7? But that would be
if they run
winning
the table?
tonight, winning the conference tournament, getting a couple more.
I mean, would you rather slip back to a 10? You always wonder that.
Well, 7-10 is the same matchup.
It's the same matchup. All right, Kenny, you're going to be doing your show tonight with Brandon over on News Radio KKOB after, so it's a late night for you, but you will be doing the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here from the comforts of my home.
All right. When we get back, we talk some NBA. Luka against the Mavericks tonight. Ant had a big game last night. Nikola Jokic went nuts last night. You got a few more minutes for us, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Come on, man. It's you two guys.
Yeah, we're kicking it with
I'll
Kenny.
stay on as long as you want.
All right. We've got another segment with Kenny Thomas live from his couch. Or we're in the chair. Well, let me do that. I think he's on hold now, is he? What am I, new? I've only been 16 and a half years I've been punching these buttons. Get Kenny's thoughts on Luka Doncic against the Mavericks tonight, where the NBA is, and then the Lakers starting to, come together a little bit with Luka and LeBron. It's the opening drive. Jeff Simieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The big.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad.
95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Don't forget, we're going to be live at the Mountain West Conference Tournament coming up here in just 2 weeks. JJ and I will be there. The opening drive will come to you from Las Vegas. I want to say thank you to the partners who are getting us there, making sure we're there for you every year. Korish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations. Airport parking, safe, secure, and the lowest price to park at the Sunport. Blake's Lotaburger, a New Mexico tradition for 52 years. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for 50 years. John Thomas Jewelers, see why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 straight years. Frank's Supply Company, find whatever tool you need for every job. And ECO Electric, your PNM authorized car charger installer. Former Lobo, great 11-year veteran in the NBA, Kenny Thomas, is with us live from his palatial estate in California. Everything's good with your palace when you got home? Everything was fine?
Oh, yeah, everything was great, man. Hey, I learned from you so much. I love the way you drop your sponsors and how you do it. I'm going to try that tonight.
You try that tonight. Hey, NBA last night, triple-double for Nikola Jokic, 19 assists, 18 points, 9 rebounds. They bounced back from getting bounced by the Lakers, beat the Nuggets. It's 28th game for Jokic in his career with at least 15 assists, which is the most by a non-guard in NBA history. I know you love his game. I don't know how to keep throwing superlatives at this guy.
Man, well, first off, we got to give a shout-out to my boy JJ there, his Nuggets. I feel like he's the best big man in the league, and I will say that. Very consistent. The coaching situation, everything is nice over there. I feel like the way that Joker's playing right now, he's solidifying himself like he has been. And the fact that I feel like the Nuggets are going to be a team to be reckoned with regardless of the regular season, because I feel like they're always going to get into the postseason. Obviously, their backcourt has to show up a little bit more. But the way that the Lakers are playing right now, and they're, top 5, top 6 in the Western Conference right now, they're playing some good ball. I find myself watching the Lakers more, especially when Luka has the ball. So it's going to be an interesting situation to see how this second half of the NBA season unfolds, because there's only another 5-6 weeks left in the regular season anyway.
Need your take on Joel Embiid. Big guy, lower extremity injuries, reevaluated, probably out for the year. And JJ and I talk about this. Is he going to be like the poster boy for the what if team? Like what if?
It's sad, man, because he's a big guy. Being big, you have to take care of your body a little bit more. I feel like there's probably things that he can do to help with that, but there's a lot of things that's out of his control because he is so big. He's a guy that got paid. I'm not comparing him to him, but when I think of like big men that have been hurt, that didn't end up panning out to be the type of player that they should. Portland, the big fella.
Odom.
What's his name?
Odom. Odom.
Yep,
from Ohio State, right? Was it Greg Odom?
Greg Oden.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Especially because you get people that want opportunities to be able to play, right? And then there's guys out there that don't get opportunities in a situation like this happen. And it's my Sixers too, right? Yeah. So I've been trying to be supportive in that whole situation, but it's kind of blowing up a little bit.
So do you have to trust the process again? What do you do with Embiid? Just keep him around, hope he's healthy, or do you think they try to move him?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's going to suck for the organization, but what do? You can't get rid of him. I mean, he's a max player, and then I think about Ben Simmons. Look at him; he's getting another opportunity on another team. Man, it's insane how this whole revolving door situation sucks, especially when it comes to Embiid. I don't see it. I don't see it, and I know they're killing him in Philly. Yeah. I know he probably can't go nowhere in Philly.
That's tough. Kenny, what about Luka and LeBron? Right, Luka went off the other night for 32. They won for the first time in their last 10 tries in Denver. Yeah. And tonight, somebody put the over under it. He scores 50. They get Dallas tonight in Los Angeles. JJ and I think we put the over under 33.5 for Luka. You going over under 33.5 against his former team tonight?
I'm going over.
Yeah, we did too.
Over. There ain't gonna be a shot that he don't like, and it's gonna be interesting to see. He might even play the right way and get everybody involved in the beginning, but it's going to be interesting. I think LeBron's going to definitely have to take a back seat to this one.
You know, it almost looked like, and JJ, I don't know what you thought, that it was the first start of the evolution. The ball started in LeBron's hands, and it felt more like in the Denver game, it was going over to Luka. You got two ball-dominant guys. How does that play out if you're JJ Redick, Kenny? Because you got two guys who spent their whole careers. One guy's career has been a lot longer than the others, obviously, with the ball in their hands.
I don't think JJ cares because he can't, right? I feel like it's going to come down to Luka and LeBron figuring that out. Who's going to be taking the shots and who's going to be doing what they're doing. I feel like the way that LeBron is playing right now with him being 41 and his age right now, I feel like he can sit over there and watch Luka do his thing and still be LeBron James. So I feel like everybody was down on JJ and how he's coaching that team. But you got to also keep in mind, is JJ really in control too? Just saying.
You mean because, LeBron James might be?
Yeah. And then now you just got Luka, who's the future, right? 25 years old. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, and they're going to pay him some serious money.
33.5. You're taking the over tonight. Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking that over. And then I will call it out on my show tonight if I'm right.
Yeah, and what if you're wrong? You won't call it out? You pretend it never happened?
I always give you love.
Anthony Edwards blocks Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night. I don't know how big of a regular season game it is, but that one felt like it was big. 25-point second half comeback. I think that's always in your mind. And you tell me, man, if you've come back on a team, and especially that team being down 25, and I think these two teams may meet again. Minnesota wins last night, beats Oklahoma City. Was last night just another game, or was that more significant than just another game?
Man, it's just another game.
All right.
Oklahoma is leading the Western Conference for a reason. They're dominating Western Conference for a reason.
Because they got the best record.
Yeah, when OKC down 25, and then they get an opportunity. I mean, not an opportunity, and then they end up losing that game. Come on, man. Things happen. That means OKC couldn't make a shot. More consistent down the stretch opposed to the other teams. That's all that is. Yeah.
All right.
And he even said it.
All right. Kenny's going to be over on KKOB tonight. JJ, anything else for him? NBA? You're good? Don't forget, it is Lobo Live with Kenny Thomas and Brandon Ortega over on News Radio KKOB after Lobo basketball. So figure over under 11:42 you go on the air tonight. That would be 10:42 your time, by the way. So if it's 9 o'clock start, 9 o'clock start, it gets pushed back to probably 9:12. So 10:12 ends at 10:30. Rob does a pregame, or no, it ends at 11:30. Pregame, postgame goes to. Oh, Dad, you're gonna be lucky to get them by midnight.
Which is totally fine, and depending on how it goes, man, hey, people are gonna call anyway.
Yep.
But the nice thing about it is this coming Saturday, Air Force, it went from 2 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Oh, you like that? Then you can
it's
get
gonna
golf.
be nice.
Yeah, get in some golf. All right. Appreciate you. Listen to Kenny over on News Radio KKOB, and we'll catch up with you on Friday.
Did you say get in some golf? Let's do it.
Yeah, but you're, dude, whatever. Every time I ask you, you're too damn busy. All right, I'll see you, man. Have fun tonight.
Appreciate you, my guys.
See you.
All right.
He is Kenny Thomas. That's Kicking It with Kenny. He'll be back with us on Friday. I mean, am I wrong? You've seen me invite him to play golf, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. All right.
Your guys are always talking about playing golf.
No, and I'm like, hey, I got a tee. Oh, I wish I could. Oh, man. No. Okay. All right. He plays, though. He's a big lefty. You know he hits left-handed? All right. 505-246-0610. We're open to you the rest of the way. Hey, you got one more opportunity in February to take on that Friday bourbon over at Twin Peaks. Bourbon and Brews, where they honor the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at Twin Peaks for Bourbon and Brews Party. Get yourself over to Twin Peaks on Friday from 5 to 7. You'll experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. So they say cheers to you on that. Don't forget the recruiting over there. And if you're looking for a job where you can have a ton of fun and make great money, Twin Peaks just may be for you. They're not only looking for Twin Peaks girls, although they are looking for Twin Peaks girls. They're looking for cooks, bussers, bar backs, all kinds of stuff. If you're interested, text WORK4TP. That's WORK4, the number 4, TP, to 85000 to apply. And no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever it is that you like, they've got everything for you. Tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category, top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls and local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, and an adventurous drink menu. And don't forget the 29-degree drafts. It's all at your favorite spot, Twin Peaks.
So
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born. Need any pie for breakfast? Maybe I should have.
hey, it's kind of like hoeing on a Friday. There's never a bad time to do it.
I think that's right. Yeah, and then people say you got to, it's got to be 5 o'clock before you have a cocktail. I mean, we were doing bourbon tasting in Louisville last week at 10:15 in the morning. So
sounds like a great start to a day, right?
It was a great day. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on?
Man, I got to tell you.
Tell me.
That must be your conversation with the senator. That must be what it's like to be in the room when the SEC and the Big Ten say, we are going to do what we want. Who cares if it's fair or not? But because we're the biggest and have the most money, we can set the rules. So I guess that's what it must be like. And I'm sure Senator, he feels the same way. So when the NCAA rules get passed down and UNM and Mexico State kind of get shoved to the wayside, I'm sure he's quick to tell folks, well, hey, life's not fair, right? So
elaborate. So tell me, because you live in a smaller town.
Correct.
And you should have representation. Should it be proportional? What he said, I think what I'm hearing from you is his proposal that the NMAA board be proportional to population and so is that kind of where you're going on this?
Well, where I'm going is what, at least the way I heard it, was that, because I think he used the phrase, one person, one vote, and since there are more people and more voters in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, they should have a bigger say of how things are done, and whether it's fair or not, he says we need to get past this fairness thing. Now, maybe I didn't hear that correctly, but that's what I heard. So to talk about proportion of the board, so we're going to talk about population because it's certainly not school district size, because there's 89 school districts in the state, and if 2 should have a greater say over, 87, that math doesn't math to me. But, I don't know.
All right, but it depends what math you do. And I'm not sure which way I am on this because I hear you and I know why it's been done the way it is. So if those 89 school districts represent, and I don't know if this is right, relatively the same number of students that those other 2 represent, then are we having another conversation? Like, what math are we doing? See what I'm saying?
Well, I agree. And my issue is the whole don't try to be fair kind of thing. It's like, well, we talk about teaching these young athletes, competition and all that, but, don't worry about being fair. But I would say even this, some of the points I take exception with. One, the whole 8th grade, you lose eligibility. Now, I know he backtracked on that. Listen, I had 2 kids that played varsity sport, high school at the high school level in 8th grade. They didn't lose eligibility.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think that was a thing either. I didn't even, I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, and then the transfer, let's put it like this. This district, we lose kids a lot to Rio Rancho, to Santa Fe, to Albuquerque.
And you're in Pecos.
Correct.
Just so people don't know. Yeah.
Oh. And all they have to do, there's a process. You have to write a letter. You appeal to the NMAA, and of the 20-some-odd years that I've been paying attention to athletics up here, I don't think any kid has been denied. Now, there are terms when kids, you can't just hop transfer in the middle of the year. That happens, but if you leave because of work or whatever, any kind of hardship, that's fine. I mean, there are plenty of kids whose parents are coaches. Cleveland's coach, he used to coach at Santa Fe. He took both his boys, and they played varsity, and they didn't have to sit out. Yeah. So, again, I think that's a much smaller issue than what he's making out to be.
Do you remember, and you may remember this, JJ, it might be before you, I want to say late 90s, there was a young man who was an unbelievable athlete. Abreu was the last name. I want to say it was Eddie, who played at Rio Grande, Cibola, right, and bounced around, and people were screaming. And he went one place to play basketball, one place to play football, and he transferred a bunch. People were really upset, and they tightened the transfer rules at that point. Do you recall that?
I do.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny. That's one of the very first phone calls I ever logged to this station when Babalu Clark had the afternoon show. Was about Eddie Abreu.
Yeah. So, and he was a hell of an athlete now. At Florida State was recruiting him to play football. He was a hell of an athlete.
An outstanding talent.
Oh.
So, But yeah, and so again, I don't think it's that necessarily that big a deal. I mean, Albuquerque, I know, has open enrollment. So, again, since he has no objection to creating a super team for private schools, because, the benefit, who does it hurt except the people who they're stomping out by 40?
Yeah,
but
that's what I said. I mean, the teams that they're beating. Yeah.
No, but again, like Volcano Vista, the kids that go to school there, they don't all live in Volcano Vista's district. Albuquerque already has open enrollment. So, again, I'm not quite sure. And then the whole, private schools can't give athletic scholarships. Come on now. That's a journal entry. That's an accounting line.
Right. You call it an academic. You call it just an academic or just a scholarship, and that's why he's there. Yeah.
Right. So I'm sorry, but I will definitely not be logging any support for Senate Bill 465.
At least you wrote down the number.
Be probably actively speaking out against it. And lastly, the NMAA, they don't take any state money, and it's funny. You kind of start to understand why, because look, the state football thing, it's a mess. We've talked about that 1,000 times. I agree. But what I don't think should happen is legislators who obviously don't know a whole lot about what's going on telling the NMAA to do this to be fair or to not be fair or to not worry about fairness or whatever. So, I mean, come on now. That's
fair.
That's a problem that doesn't exist. And, kudos for getting on the air and stating his case, but, you also got to be realistic about it and be a bit more, how should I say, he's selling it with not quite all the real facts as to what's going on.
That's why we have discussion, man. That's why we have discussion.
Appreciate the time.
See ya. I appreciate that. And it's fair. It's somebody who lives in a smaller town saying, wait a minute, and we want our representation. There's 89 school districts versus 2. Yeah, but is the population even? Is those 2 equal to 89? It really close to it. So, understood. Hey, we didn't hit this. Did you see the story yesterday about the Eagles and the White House and all that thing?
Yeah.
The way the story was yesterday is the Eagles weren't going to the White House. That they were protesting the president. They weren't going to show up to the White House, and they weren't going to go. And then the White House came out and said, I don't know what they're talking about. We haven't invited them to the White House to come celebrate their Super Bowl championships. And so this story, I mean, everybody lost their mind, depending on your political lean and whatever. The Eagles have said that they plan on visiting the White House if, in fact, they are invited. And I guess the last time Trump was in office was when the Eagles won, and the Eagles back in 2018 did not accept the invitation. And I guess that's what set this off. But, dude, this was fire talk yesterday, and the interwebs were blowing up, and we'll bleep them then, and bleep you, and bleep them, and why should they go? They weren't invited anyway, and then I heard
it was a whole bunch of pot meat kettle.
100%.
Like, you guys get fired up over everything. You guys do the same exact thing.
And which is politics, dude. Everything you accuse the other side of doing, you do.
Do the exact same thing. This was what happens when somehow, some way, a story gets out there, and you just see a headline like, oh, Eagles said they're not going. And, like, no, it never was.
People, let them go to Mexico. Let them go to Canada. Oh, wait, we're going to have Canada. This is going to be ours. Let them go to, people lost their ever-loving minds yesterday over this story. And it comes out today, and a White House official has said that the Eagles did not decline because they hadn't been invited. And the Eagles evidently put out something that said, look, if we get invited, we plan to go. And I didn't realize this. No NFL team has visited the White House since then. Like, is that right? I saw that they did NHL the other day. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, 505-246-0610. You want me to do this or you want me to take the break? Where do you want me to go? JD, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, JD.
Beautiful day, guys. Beautiful day. As far as the tush push, I've hated it since it came out. I kind of agree with Cowher. It looks more like a scrum and a rugby play, and if they get rid of it, that's fine. But then there's a part of me that also thinks about, and I don't think it has anywhere near the impact, but when people first came out with the forward pass, did they think the same thing, right? Just a thought I had. I think tonight the Lobos are going to win by 5. I know San Diego State's favored by 2.5, but I think we're probably 8 points better than them tonight, especially without Glock. But, you've seen teams rise up when they have somebody out. So it's but I still think we're going to win by 5. And then I don't know if did you see the article about Fresno State?
The three
being
players
investigated for gambling.
Yeah, we hit on that yesterday, and I think I was just reading something that sounds like this may be a really big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting that those guys seemed like they had pretty good games together, but they were still betting the under. So it was obviously something that they were trying to influence. But if it were a little earlier, or if they found out that it was serious, could the Mountain West Conference keep them from playing in the Mountain West Conference tournament?
I imagine they could. Or I imagine they could do whatever they needed to do. That's why they pulled these guys out. So, but yeah, I mean.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
So
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's your last place team. I mean, I guess you could. One other somewhat Mountain West related thing: Northern Illinois is joining the Mountain West in football in 2 seasons, 2026. Their non-football sports are going to the Horizon League, except for they're asking the MAC to keep wrestling and gymnastics because the Horizon doesn't sponsor those, and so the MAC may tell them to scratch, and so they may not have places for those two programs. But they'll play in the Horizon League, for whatever that means to you. 505-246-0610. We'll wrap it up. Still have time for your phone calls and emails. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard.
610, let's go. You're listening to the opening drive on The Sports Animal. Hello, Ken. You're on The Sports Animal.
Yeah, hey, guys. 3 real quick points. First, tonight's going to be awesome. If you're a basketball fan, tonight's your night. You got the Mavs coming into the Lake Show, 8 o'clock, and then I don't know which people are going to do that. I know I'm recording both games, so I'll probably switch it over to the Lobo game at that point at 9 o'clock. And then maybe go back in the morning and watch the Laker game. I think that when the Lakers are good and when the Lakers make a splash in the NBA, it's good for the NBA. When Shaq came to the Lakers and Kobe was doing well, it's just good for the league. Second point, I think the Lobos, another piece to the puzzle tonight, very important piece. If they could somehow major step forward into winning the championship. And the third and final point, and I need your guys' help for this, my wife told me something this morning that she was seeing on the TikToks and the interwebs that SEC is talking, I think she said, to the Big 12 or maybe the Big 10 about merging those two big conferences.
They're talking about the Big Ten. The Big Ten.
You heard that?
Yeah, there's talk about those two separating. I don't think they're going to separate, but I think they're going to demand 4 spots each of the playoff. And they'll probably go to 18 or 14 teams. Yeah, each of those two leagues would get 4 spots, 2 each to the ACC and the Big 12, 1 to the Group of 5, and that would leave 1 left for Notre Dame or an at-large.
Right. So my point is that does anybody really care about Fresno State playing Washington State on a Tuesday night? Does anybody really care about the Lobos playing? I don't know.
Again,
Canadian basketball.
It goes back to the is it fair?
Start thinking about merging. Got to think about merging with the Pac-12.
I agree with you.
Because at that point, it's just survival mode.
Thanks,
so,
Ken.
thanks, guys. That's all I got.
Yeah, look, I don't think anybody cares if it's fair or not. You got the most power in a very isolated place, and they're trying to push their power around and rule the world, right? Take over Greenland and Panama and whatever you want. Mike, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Mike.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'll keep it brief. First of all, excellent show this morning. Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
It's been a great show. Secondly, I have a friend who's an ESPN reporter in the Phoenix area, and he's been covering this conference realignment. And we were just chatting yesterday, and he suggested to me that one of the reasons that UNM has been excluded from these conferences is because of their inability to secure NIL money going forward. Just wondering what you guys thought about that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I don't think that's the right thing. I just don't think that's right. They're JJ, unless you've heard something different. The collective at UNM is on par, if not better, than many of their peers. Look, I don't know where they are right now. A year ago, right now, they were ahead of San Diego State in NIL, especially for basketball. It's not even arguable. They were ahead of Boise State, ahead of Colorado State, ahead of Utah State. Now, what he said is to secure it for the future. They've got a pretty good plan. Now, I will give you this. I've heard that inability to be able to do the revenue sharing piece of it. Now, that may be what that caller's talking about, JJ, the $20.5 million. When you got, San Diego State's got a $100,000 plus athletic budget and yours is $48,000, sharing $20 million is a big chunk. That might be it. But the NIL is not it. The revenue sharing piece might be something, and that goes down to the minimum athletic budget and the commitments.
That is correct.
Yeah. So that may be part of it. Look, football was the number one reason, and then let me just tell you. Look, you're going to say, "What Utah State? What?" You understand that there's a lot of money in the church, the LDS church, and a lot of it goes obviously to BYU, but a lot of it does funnel to Utah State. I mean, what did they pay Bronco? 2.6 or something like that, right? And you're like, where's that money coming from? Well, I mean, it's there. I don't think the NIL necessarily is the issue, but I do believe the inability to absolutely promise that, hey, we're going to be able to go all in on revenue sharing was a piece of the conversation. Now, was I in those rooms? I was not. But, I mean, that's some of the stuff that I've been hearing. All right, big one tonight. What do you got? I think the Lobos win 3 or 4 points. I just think that Guap being out is bigger than Amsiel being questionable. I think Nelly has a way better night tonight because Guap isn't there. And, I mean, can they score? It's going to be really – do they make shots from the outside tonight?
It's one – can you win inside? The opportunity should be there for the Lobos without Guath for San Diego State. They're not going to be a pushover by any stretch, but that's a bigger effect is him out of the lineup for the Aztecs as opposed to Amsiel out for the Lobos, because then you still have Nelly Jr. Joseph, Dent, True Washington, C.J. Nolan, so you're still able to have the majority of your core on the floor, and for the Lobos, they can bring the defensive intensity, make it tough on the Aztecs' backcourt, attack the rim. That's going to put themselves in position to get this win.
It's over on News Radio KKOB. It'll start at 8:30 with the pregame show. Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green courtside at, I believe they're courtside there, the Viejas Arena in San Diego. And then the tip-off right around 9 o'clock. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is next. The Jim Rome show's after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Thank you to Senator Mo Maestas for being with us, along with Kenny Thomas. Adrian, great work on the visuals over on ProView Networks. Hope you're enjoying that. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Safe travels. We will catch you remotely from beautiful Laradice, Wyoming tomorrow is where you'll be.
That is correct.
All right, looking forward to that. Hey, have a great day, boys and girls. Enjoy the game. Get a nap. Look forward to talking tomorrow morning. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.